Welcome to XIO Voice. Continuing from the previous episode 215. When Xiao Yan stood up from his seat, 4 other figures slowly stood up from the seats of the 4 other great clans. In an instant, the eyes of the people in hall gathered on the 5 of them. The candidates whom the Dan and Cao clan had sent out did not exceed Yi Zong's expectations. They were Cao Shu and Dan Zan. The Bai clan was represented by the most outstanding person among the clan's younger generation, who was the man called Bai Ying. The Qi clan's candidate was a small man. Although Xiao Yan did not know who he was, it was likely that this person was not ordinary since he was capable enough to be sent out by the Chu clan. Elder Cheng in the arena slowly swept his eyes over the 5 people. After which, his eyes paused on Xiao Yan. This elder had been friendly with the Yi clan in the past. However, due to the decline of the Yi clan over the years, the Yi clan seldom came to Holy Pill City. Hence, their relationship had become a lot paler. Nevertheless, Elder Cheng felt some pity for the Yi clan's predicament. He had once helped put in some good words. This had enabled the Yi clan gain its final chance of survival today. The candidates representing the various clans, please step into the arena. Xiao Yan and the rest slowly walked down in front of the eyes of the entire hall upon hearing Elder Cheng's faint words. After which, they stood in the arena some distance apart while carrying some caution. Dan Zan from the Dan clan greets Elder Cheng. Dan Zan stood straight as he cupped his hands to Elder Cheng and respectfully greeted him. Cao Shu from the Cao clan. Bai Ying from the Bai clan. Chu Qi from the Chu clan. Cao Shu and the others cupped their hands together and greeted the elder after Dan Zan did. This Elder Cheng was one of the 8 great elders of the Pill Tower. Their positions were far from what some ordinary elders could compare with. Even the 5 great clans treated him with respect. Xiao Yan, the representative from the Yi clan, greets Elder Cheng. Although such a formality was useless, it was something that still needed to be done. Xiao Yan was not some young and inexperienced person. He would naturally not act arrogant and omit this courtesy. Xiao Yan's words had just sounded when it immediately caused numerous surprised eyes to be thrown onto him. However, all those seated were well-informed people. They were vaguely aware of the relationship between Xiao Yan and the Yi clan. Hence, they did not appear too surprised. After all, this kind of test did not explicitly restrict the 5 clans from getting the help of outsiders. Ha ha, Xiao Yan ha. This name is quite frequently heard recently. Elder Cheng fondled his beard and laughed. He was naturally mentioning the matter of the Ice River Valley some time earlier, which had caused a big uproar. The soul-stirring battle that had erupted within Yi City had become one of the topics that was frequently talked about across the Pill region. It was merely some minor fight. How can it catch the great eyes of Elder Cheng? Xiao Yan smiled and replied. How can it be a minor fight? You even dared to randomly attack someone from my Bai clan. Clearly, you look down on my Bai clan. Although the Ice River Valley cannot do anything to you, you should be aware that this is Holy Pill City, not that small Yi City. Bai Ying from the Bai clan by the side coldly laughed after Xiao Yan spoke. Xiao Yan smiled in a non-committal fashion in the face of Bai Ying's cold ridicule. He did not argue with him. Instead, he crossed his 10 fingers in front of him and acted as though he did not hear Bing Ying's provocation. Bai Ying coldly smiled upon seeing how Xiao Yan acted. He had also heard that Xiao Yan was a Tier 7 middle-grade alchemist. However, this was not enough for him to be afraid of Xiao Yan. The Tier 7 middle grade possessed a divide between the strong and the weak. He had already advanced to this level a year ago while Xiao Yan had just obtained the Tier 7 middle grade badge a couple of days ago. Elder Cheng did not hinder this kind of disharmonious atmosphere between the two. This kind of thing was commonplace and could not be considered special. He would let them randomly find fault with each other as long as they did not hinder the progress of the test. Since there is no problem, let the test today begin. Elder Cheng slowly stepped back. An item covered by a black cloth was behind him. He extended his hand and pulled off the black cloth, revealing a stone tablet that was around 10 feet tall. Actually, it was not accurate to describe it as a stone tablet because this stone tablet was transparent, giving it a crystal-like appearance. Our test is divided into 3 sections. This first section is soul testing. It is common knowledge that the spirit is the most important foundation of an alchemist. Only with a powerful soul will one possess sufficient spiritual perception and spiritual control. Elder Cheng pointed to the middle of the stone tablet. There was a circular smooth plate there. He said, Each of you will insert your spiritual strength into this plate. It will test the value of your spirit. This value is called a soul value by the pill tower. As long as one's soul value reaches above 400, one will have passed the test. The highest record during the soul value test of the 5 great clans examination is held by Cao Ying. Back then, her soul value had reached 976. No one has broken it until now. Elder Cheng's eyes turned to the leader's seat of the Cao clan when he spoke until this point. A black-dressed Cao Ying was supporting her cheek with one hand at that spot. Her other hand was playing with a round jade bead. Her casual and unconcerned manner did not change just because she had become the focus of the surrounding gazes. Ha ha! Since all of you know the rules, let's begin. Who will go first? Elder Cheng withdrew his gaze and smiled as he asked Xiaoyan's group. The 5 of them fell into a silence after Elder Cheng's voice sounded. A moment later, the man called Chu Ji Fro the Chu clan finally took the lead to step forward. After which, his hand gently touched the stone tablet. Both of his eyes were shut as spiritual strength moved along his hand and surged into it. Beep beep beep. One could see the smooth mirror plate in the middle of the stone tablet suddenly emit a beeping sound after his spiritual strength was inserted into the stone tablet. After which, the blood-red number on it suddenly soared. This continued for around 10 seconds before it paused on the number 707 in front of numerous eyes. Chu Ji finally released his hand after the number stabilized. He glanced at the number on the plate and sighed in relief. This number was already considered high. Some ordinary Tier 7 alchemist would not even be able to reach this number. Xiao Yan by the side fell deep into thought after looking at the number. He was able to sense that this Chu Ji possessed a great spiritual strength. However, this final value was only 707. From this, he could vaguely sense how terrifying Cao Ying was. After all, she had far exceeded this number 2 to 3 years ago. He wondered just what level the current her had reached. With this result, Chu Ji slowly stepped back. After all, this number had far exceeded the passing mark. There was no longer a need for him to be worried about anything. Bai Ying closely followed after Chu Ji stepped back. He coldly smiled as he glanced at Xiao Yan. Only then did he place his hand on the stone tablet. He inhaled a breath of air before his spiritual strength erupted from him. Beep beep beep. As Bai Ying's spiritual strength continued to pour out, the blood-red number on the plate swiftly began to soar. Within a couple of seconds, it had already reached 700. After which, it continued to beep. It stopped at the value of 785. Some private conversations broke out within the large hall when everyone saw the number on the stone tablet. The faces of the members of the Bai clan were filled with pride. The white-clothed woman, Xiao Yan had met when he was being tested for the tier badge at the branch tower, was currently looking at Bai Ying with a glint in her eyes. Elder Cheng slowly nodded when he saw the number on the Nirvana plate. This result could already be considered to be among the top. This reputation of being the strongest among the younger generation of the Bai clan was really not some mere bragging. After Elder Cheng pressed his hand against the empty air, the conversations within the hall finally began to stop. His eyes turned to Xiao Yan, Dan Zan, and Cao Shu as he smiled and said, "It's your turn." The 3 of them exchanged glances with one another upon hearing this. That Cao Shu smiled faintly and said, "Since the both of you choose to be the last, I shall be first to step forward and show my inadequacy." TL. It should be noted that in Chinese culture saying that oneself is incompetent is considered humble, but it should not be taken at face value. After saying this, Cao Shu walked forward and slowly approached the stone tablet. He touched the tablet before his eyes opened wide and an extremely strong energy surged out of his body like a volcano erupting. Beep beep beep. After a surge of energy from Cao Shu's body, one could see the blood-red number on the plate swiftly begin to rise. Within the blink of an eye, it had broken past the 800 mark and finally came to a slow halt at the value of 846. Some shocked gasps appeared within the large hall as everyone looked at the soul value on the stone tablet. This value could already be considered very good among the Tier 7 middle grade level. "Both of you, it's your turn." Cao Shu slowly stepped back and spoke after turned his eyes to Dan Zan and Xiao Yan. Dan Zan slightly nodded upon hearing this. He gave Xiao Yan a faint warm smile before slowly stepping forward. Dan Zan had undoubtedly caused a countless number of eyes within the large hall to gather on him the moment he stepped forward. Cao Ying, who had been acting unconcerned, threw her pretty eyes over. Dan Zan was a renowned talent from the Dan clan. Many people knew that Dan Zan would be the successor of the Dan clan in the future. His ability and character caused him to possess such qualifications. Dan Zan stopped in front of the stone tablet in front of the many gazes. His hand was gently placed on the stone tablet, but his face did not reveal the slightest anxiety. Dan Zan's hand touched the stone tablet. He slowly shut his eyes and a majestic spiritual strength slowly surged out of his body. Even his surroundings had vaguely become distorted. This caused some surprise to flash across the eyes of Elder Cheng by the side. His vast and mighty spiritual strength surged into the stone tablet. After which, a quick beeping sound once again resounded over the arena. The blood-red numbers on the plate began to swiftly soar at a speed that caused one's heart to race. The soaring number broke through the 700 mark in the blink of an eye. The next instant, it broke through 800. Only at this moment did its speed begin to slow. However, the number continued to slowly leap up. Finally, it broke through the peak of the 800 category amid sounds of people inhaling cool air. It finally stopped at the value of 903. The entire place was silent as everyone looked at the blood-red number on the plate. Numerous gazes filled with praise were shot onto Dan Zan. He was indeed worthy of being the next successor of the Dan clan, and he was indeed not someone that an ordinary person could compare with. Elder Cheng smiled and nodded at this moment. Since Dan Zan was able to reach such a number, it was likely that he would advance to a Tier 7 high-grade alchemist very soon. Moreover, his young age was extremely commendable. In the future, he might even have the qualification to step into the Guru realm. Surprise flashed across Cao Ying's pretty eyes from the Cao clan's seats. The corner of her mouth was lifted into a faint arc. This Dan Zan was indeed quite strong. Although he was still a little lacking, he was considered quite outstanding when compared to others of similar age. The gasps of surprise continued for a while before gradually quieting. After which, everyone's eyes gathered onto the final figure. This was the last opportunity for the Yi clan. If Xiao Yan's final number failed to surpass Bai Ying's and enter the top 3, it was likely that the Yi clan would be finished. Yi Zong's group was also anxiously watching Xiao Yan at this moment. If Xiao Yan failed to enter the top 3 on the first section, there was really no need to continue the subsequent tests. Cao Ying slightly raised her eyes. Her enchanting, pretty eyes stared at Xiao Yan with great interest. She really wanted to know whether this fellow, who had some reputation, had the ability to save the Yi clan or if he was just acting calm. Xiao Yan slowly inhaled a breath under the focus of all the eyes present. His expression was calm as he slowly stepped forward. After which, his hand gently pressed against the stone tablet.